This week's AlgoRant is brought to you by Headline Inc. Headline is building essential AlgoRand ecosystem tools like AlGo Pay, AlGo Swap, AlGo Cloud, AlGo Glyph, Pipeline UI, and much, much more. There's a lot going on over there, folks. And if AlgoRand needs it, they are building it. All right? Apparently, they need to send me a shirt, folks. Look at all this merch I got in Denver. Flemish Giants, Akita Kennel Club. Akita, man, check that thing out. Isn't that sick? You got Reach. You got Reach right here. You got the AlGoRand hat, the AlGoRand coffee cup, the AlGoRand pen. And yeah, baby, without further ado, let's get into it. This week's AlgoRant. Hey everybody, welcome to the ReCoop. I'm Cooper Daniels, and I'm a guy that knows a little about a lot. And today, it's my weekly AlgoRant. That's right, folks. It's a couple days late. It's Tuesday. These usually come out on a Friday, but today's Tuesday. I was in Denver all of last week. I had some family stuff to deal with. I'm back on track. Here we go. Let's get into it. First off, how's everybody doing? Everybody all right? All right, look, folks. There's a lot going on. You got Putin, you got inflation, you got the whole shebang, folks. It is a difficult time if you're watching prices of your assets, okay? It's not great. It's not a great time unless you're, invested in certain things. But if you're in a more innovative sector like we are here in crypto, you might be feeling a little pain. Maybe you're not worried about it. Personally, after coming back from EthDenver, I'm not all that worried about it. I like the plan and I like what is happening. So let's cut to the chase, folks. What was my experience like at EthDenver? What are some of the news highlights that I've heard over the last week and a half? And I'll do my Artists of Algorand. And then in the end, I'm going to share a couple of jokes that I thought maybe I would say on stage at EthDenver. But I looked out into the audience and I thought, these people don't want it. But you know who does want it? The damn ReCoop audience. So I'll share a couple of the jokes that I thought I might say at EthDenver at the end. So what were my big takeaways from being at the AlgoRanch at EthDenver? Well, number one, EVM and AVM interoperability is at the top of the list of things that they want. Now, why is that? So AVM is obviously the Algorand virtual machine, and EVM is obviously the Ethereum virtual machine. Now, so much of the money, the network effects, everything, a lot of the most talented developers and all the DAOs that you've heard of and the DeFi that you've heard of, everything is basically over there on Ethereum right now, okay? That's where it's at. And there are a lot of other protocols that are EVM compatible that are able to share in that. Avalanche is one of them. They have a ton of money in their DeFi because they are EVM compatible. Well, look, Algorand is a bit like, crypto woke up dad, and then dad was like, all right, folks, I'm going to fix this. I'm starting from scratch because I am brilliant and I'm going to get this going. Which, look, it's early on and they are creating something called state proofs, which went live on testnet just a week ago. And we're going to talk more about state proofs in a second. But look, Algorand is a beast and is going to be the settlement layer for all of crypto and traditional finance eventually. But in the meantime, they showed up with a packed briefcase full of cash being like, hey, Ethereum developers, why don't you figure out how to build on the AVM? How about you make this interoperable in the meantime before we fix everything? We'd love you over here. We'd love you to figure out how to do this, and we have a lot of money to bribe you to do it, okay? Now look, you guys know what's going on here. I start every video with, I know a little about a lot. And as I start to get to stuff like state proofs and ZK snark proofs and light clients and all of this lingo, I start to go, I'm scared. You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to say these things in a simple way, in a way that everybody can understand. But I believe that it provides value to all of you to really understand what state proofs are, because look, this is one of the major things that Algorand is doing. So let's just start off with what state proofs aren't, okay? So currently right now, if you wanted to bridge ALGO to Ethereum, you need a third party. Now, if you're in crypto for the right reasons, you don't like third parties. You don't like words like third party or intermediary, or, we don't want these people in the middle. When there's people in the middle, that invites risk, it invites costs, it slows things down. People suck. We want these things to happen instantly, just like Algorand does. The way things are right now is that, okay, so if I want Algo on ETH, then I've got to find a third party on Algo to lock up my Algo in a vault, and then they can go over there to Ethereum and then wrap have some kind of synthetic Algo that is ERC20 or whatever, and now I can move it on Ethereum. Now, if either side of these vaults get hacked, then, they can, you saw it at the wormhole hack. The wormhole hack was a bridge on Solana that got hacked, and then they were able to print a bunch of Ethereum and cash out and then make a crap ton of money, right? It's risky. It's infiltrated by third parties. It's costly and whatever. So what Algorand has basically done, instead of these third parties, they have figured out a way for there to be a smart contract on Algorand and a smart contract on Ethereum, and basically execute this type of bridging, or it can use it for oracles, and without any third parties, in a completely decentralized way, or as decentralized as you believe the Algorand consensus mechanism is, it can happen, right? So Algorand is going to produce state proofs every, 100, 150 rounds. And that is going to be a very lightweight thing that attests to the block, the truth of a block, of a certain block in time, right? And what they'll be able to do over there on Ethereum is they'll be able to query that, and they'll be able to say, okay, yeah, that happened. And they easily, you don't need to be compatible, because you're going to have, the state proof is going to be produced, and then there's going to be a ZK snark proof that's able to verify, and then there's going to be a light client that actually facilitates this, right? Which is basically, a light client is like a lightweight node, right? That has only certain information, and this all can happen super fast. Is this confusing? Are you confused about what state proofs are? Basically, it's just a workaround from being EVM compatible. Every single thing is going to be able to check on the state of the Algorand blockchain without a third party, right? And then you're going to have third parties. You're going to have C3 protocol that's going to use it and is going to be able to make all of these fancy things happen. It completely eliminates the need, really, for Ethereum and Algorand to be compatible. It's a complete workaround. It is post-quantum resistant. It is safe. It's encrypted, and it's quick. So look, folks, Algorand will be the settlement layer for everything. I still believe in the network effects of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I still will be celebrating my bronze medal party. But I am highly confident in this bronze medal. They are doing it. They have the best tech. They have the most brilliant minds, and it is happening, folks. I met the people. It is all going down. All right, so that's it. EVM, AVM compatibility, interoperability. These are the words. They are bribing Ethereum developers to come over and to build a better environment, a more interoperable environment for Ethereum developers to come over and build, right? And then in general, to make it easier for developers to build on Algorand in general, right? So that's what they're doing. My number 2 takeaway from EthDenver is that ASAs must be listed on centralized exchanges. Okay, we need that. Now, maybe you don't know this, but Algo is not an ASA. Okay, so this presents a problem because, you have Coinbase, you have Binance, you have most of the major centralized exchanges support Algo, and they can support Algo. Now, the issue is, because Algo is not an ASA, they have to change some things in order to support ASAs, and that's a lot of work for them, and it seems to be complicated in getting them to do this, all right? Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking when Yieldly on Coinbase, or when DeFi or Opal or whatever zone, whatever token that you're into, you're like, when is that going to be on Coinbase or Binance or one of these major exchanges? We've seen ASAs on KuCoin and MEXC and all of that, but what we want to see is ASAs on Coinbase, Binance, whatever. Kraken, I don't know, wherever you want to see the whatever your exchange of choice is. Now, this is the deal. It's not Yieldly or Opal or Smile or whatever it is that you like, whatever project you're extremely bullish on. What we need to start with is Coinbase accepting USDC, the ASA, all right? Because once they do that, they can easily integrate all the other ASAs. So the major ask, the thing, if you're going to ask Coinbase to do anything, not Yieldly, not DeFi, not whatever, USDCA. That's what we want. We want to be able to send our USDCA to Coinbase, cash out, whatever. That will be a very bullish thing. All right, folks. So those are the two things: EVM, AVM, interoperability, and ASAs being listed on major centralized exchanges. Those are the two things that I know that Algorand is working on. And those are the things that are going to happen. And those are the things to look forward to, okay? Now, I don't have any dates on any of this. I do know that state proofs went live on testnet. And I know that C3 protocol is getting ready to go. You know what I mean? So there's a lot going on. But yeah, I mean, look, outside of that, I mean, and then it's like, you get to see the new CEO, Stacey Warden, talk, and she's bringing a whole energy thing, a whole vibe. She's focused on marketing. She's savvy. You can tell she's engaged. I mean, and it's also cool. So I feel like there's a positive change happening at the head of the foundation. And then you just get to meet some of these really talented people, all the new projects, some of the artists. Like, it was such a cool experience, and I can't wait to hopefully show up at future events and, whatever. Real quick, you have AlgoFi went live with the DEX this week. That's exciting. AlgoFi, I met those guys, so smart. And they're like, look, we did all of these other things, all of the loans and the borrowing and the staking and all of the things. Like, a DEX would be super easy to add. Why don't we just add a DEX real quick? And they did it, and now it's live and it's working. So AlgoFi, those guys are studs, and that's a pretty I think I'll be talking to them soon. So there should be a AlgoFi video coming soon on the ReCoop. Oh, another highlight for me personally was George Howard. He gave a keynote. He is a professor at Berklee School of Music, and he's also one of the guys behind Dequency, which is decentralizing licensing and music. And Kimball Musk actually invested in Dequency. And George Howard, he gave this cool speech about how people, when things get hard, they start to go into like a valley of despair, and you either succumb to the despair or you climb your way out of it, right? And then one of the major problems that keeps entrepreneurs and artists and everybody, musicians, from actually moving forward is when things get hard, a shiny object presents itself and you think, oh, I should pivot to that. And then you never actually follow through and go through what's hard, because the good thing is on the other side of what's difficult, right? You know what I mean? The good stuff is on the other side of struggle. We've all seen this. You gave up too early, or you actually didn't give up and you saw it through the struggle, and then you became successful, okay? So he gave a really cool speech about that. That was a highlight. And then to see that, Tosca and Kimball Musk invested in Dequency, that was neat. Those people are showing up, and then you have some quotes from Stacey Warden, the CEO. She said, "The pitch is the tech. We simply have the best tech." She also said, "In the medium term, our goal is to be the layer one that can enable financial inclusion. We believe in a multi-chain world, but if there's one settlement chain, it'll be Algorand for sure." Algorand's going to scale Ethereum. Algorand is basically Ethereum 3.0. It's all happening, all right? So I thought, look, I'm going to do the Artists of Algorand real quick on a Tuesday. And I thought, well, who better to highlight than the artist that I met at EthDenver? His name is Antonio, and he is responsible for the Flemish Giants. Check him out, man. I mean, look, everybody loves the Flemish Giants. I think that the floor for these is like 8,000 algo, 7,000 algo. There was only 100 Flemish Giants, so they became very difficult to get very, very fast. But I've always admired them. I could see from the beginning, oh, these things are awesome. How do I get one? And they got priced out really quick. It's all good. All good. So Antonio is from New York. He's been a freelance artist for 15 plus years. He always kind of struggled with the idea that he didn't fully control his work or own his work. It was always this kind of freelance patchwork type of thing until he found Algorand and NFTs. And he created the Flemish Giants. The Flemish Giants are after actual pets of his. He's in New York. He has a backyard of giant rabbits, folks. He's got a backyard of these things. He's got giant rabbits. He's got emus. This guy is doing it, right? This guy's got it going. Okay, so that's it, folks. You got the Flemish Giants. There are 100 of them currently. V2 is coming in March. They are like Algorand, wanting to grow their community. I mean, they sold out their 100 Flemish Giants. It's an intimate community right now. But V2 is going to have over 2,000 Flemish Giants. You're going to be able to get it. They're going to come out with a video, a teaser video soon with more details. It's happening in March. Next month, you're going to be able to get a Flemish Giant at a price that is much better than 8,000 Algo. Algo Bama, you guys all know Algo Bama. He is a buddy of Antonio, and there's another guy who's a dev who's also a buddy. They're like, we should do an NFT project, and they did, and they knocked it out of the park. So I'm excited to get a V2. It was awesome meeting Algobama, and it was awesome meeting Antonio. It's great to meet everybody and put a face to the work. This is what it's about, folks. People being able to support their livelihood through their artistry, and I love it. Because when you're talented, right? And NFTs and blockchain bring access to people and are connecting people from all over the world. Okay, so that's that. So I promised you that I would share a couple of the jokes that I was thinking about. So I was going to do something like, how about a Solana joke? Are you guys down? And then everybody was going to be like, yeah. And I'll be like, yeah, so is Solana. Oh, and then maybe there's a groan or a laugh. And then I'll be like, oh man, that was a hacky joke. Kind of like Solana. And then they'd be like, oh, and I'll be like, all right. Time to reboot. Solana knows what I'm talking about. So Charles Hoskinson walks into a bar and nothing happens for years. All right, everybody. Hey, look, the fun continues. We're back on track. There's going to be tons of interviews. I have a new show that I'm going to tell you about soon. And yeah, AlgoRants will be back starting this Friday. So can't stop, won't stop, folks. All right, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe. And yeah, thank you for watching. Do your homework.